It is no surprise to any One Piece fan that Luffy, future king of the pirates, has an immense love of food and in particular meat. This love comes from two main sources and one super secret hidden source that Oda hinted at the very beginning of One Piece. First, his love of food comes from his high energy exertion due to his training and fighting. Luffy is always stretching himself, using higher gears, and pushing himself to the maximum in nearly every encounter he has, whether it be Marine Admirals or the Don Quixote family. This insane ability to fight does not come freely and requires a massive energy source for Luffy, that being food. We have seen time and time again in One Piece, Luffy running out of energy mid-fight and needing to get refueled somehow, and some mysterious force somehow always brings food to him, which allows him to re-enter the fray. This highlights the intensity of Luffy's battles and the power of the Gum Gum fruit. His fruit helps play a role in this as well, because without it, Luffy wouldn't be able to fight as well as he does. His desire for freedom enhances the strength of his devil fruit abilities, so even if the Gum Gum fruit provided just a tiny benefit to Luffy's digestion, in his case, with his freedom and his sense of freedom, pushing his devil fruit to its maximum abilities, this would just enhance its digestion capabilities, which we have seen time and time again in One Piece. Because Luffy loves to eat so much, celebrations for the Straw Hats typically come in the form of a banquet. These banquets started rather small and have grown into island-wide, multi-day events where everyone can eat, drink, play, and do whatever they want for as long as they want, with no enemy force to tell them what to do. We've seen this two times in particular, and that being in Dressrosa and Wano, two of the largest canon celebrations that we have ever seen in the entire One Piece world. To Luffy, these banquets and celebrations are all the payment he will ever need for his loyalty and friendship, not to mention freeing the island in the first place. The banquets of One Piece are also typically one of the only times during an arc where we see all of the characters relaxed and united. They are seeing the fruits of their labor unfold in front of them, and what better way to celebrate a well-fought victory over the forces of evil than to sit back with your friends and share a drink and meal. We get to see all the characters celebrating in their own way during these occasions. For example, Jinbei sitting and reminiscing in the aftermath of Wano, Usopp claiming ownership over some incredible feat, or Zoro drinking sake. All these things are just natural to the story in the closing arcs of One Piece. Luffy loves to celebrate and show gratitude by eating, so it makes sense that he seeks out these banquets in large parties when he has defeated a difficult enemy or freed an enslaved people. Luffy sees these as moments to celebrate and give thanks to those who he has helped and allied along the way, which contributes to his love of food. The second source of Luffy's love of food comes from his upbringing. While under the care of Garp, Luffy is seen many times feasting on a large chunk of meat. They typically would get this from some beast they would defeat and then cook up over a campfire. These incredibly dangerous situations that Garp would put Luffy in would push Luffy to his maximum, and this was well thought out. Garp understood the threat that the world government, that he, was to Luffy. By forcing Luffy to become strong, Luffy could fend for himself and provide what he needed when he needed it. Garp taught Luffy the importance of working for his food, as nothing would come free in his life. He understands the sacrifice that others make in order to give Luffy himself the opportunity to eat, whether that be in the form of hunting the food like he did with Garp, or working on a farm for many months at a time, as we have seen in other cases. Luffy always understands the importance of the work that went into providing a meal, so he never takes it for granted, and he is always certain to repay it tenfold. But we can't forget that Luffy was also raised by Dadan. Under Dadan, who cooked for Luffy, Sabo, and Ace, Luffy undoubtedly felt motherly love from her in the form of her meals. Luffy undoubtedly appreciates what Dadan did for him, yet he likely doesn't fully understand the true depth of the sacrifices she made to keep the three children safe from the world government. Even still, we can see Luffy repay the kindness that was afforded to him by those from his childhood throughout his adventures on the Grand Line in the New World. Much of Luffy's love of food comes from his childhood under Garp and Dadan. The final, super secret hidden source of Luffy's love of food is his desire for freedom. From the very beginning of One Piece, Oda has made it very clear that Luffy loves to be free. He does not like it when others tell him what to do at all, and this includes what to eat. In fact, Luffy's desire to eat in the first place is what led to him consuming the Gum Gum fruit. Luffy's desire to do and eat what he wants has been a driving force for the One Piece story, as shown from the very beginning, and it will continue to be a driving force in the One Piece story. It is also Luffy's desire for freedom that has pushed him to some of the most dangerous places in the One Piece world. A common trope upon Luffy entering a new island is him being given a meal by a person in need. This one meal will typically start a chain reaction that exposes the injustice of the government on that island, which forces the Straw Hats to get involved. They get involved because Luffy sees a person's ability to access food and eat what they want when they want as a sign of their freedom. When anyone in the One Piece world has freedom restricted from them, it is a surefire way to ignite Luffy to their cause, which we have seen time and time again. Without Sanji's freedom, Luffy would not allow himself to eat. To some, this could just seem like an immense loyalty to your friend and favorite cook, but I think it truly shows how Luffy compares imprisonment to the ability to eat. Luffy was showing solidarity more than anything else to Sanji during the events of Whole Cake Island, and he was making sure that Sanji knew he wasn't fighting alone. This is honestly such incredible writing by Oda, and I can see how many people, myself included, would not read so deeply into this at first and understand the true motives of Luffy's actions during the Whole Cake Island. It really is such a slept-on arc by so many people. Luffy is such an admirable character and friend, and his desire for freedom is his true source of hunger and love of food. I'm doing a One Piece Volume 100 giveaway on my channel. Click the video on screen now to learn how to get entered in.